Guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Zaza Graphics. In this particular tutorial, we're creating a party flyer. Alright, so let's just get over with this. So the first thing, I'll be coming to this area. I'll be creating my background. So I'll be click on color, just come to the color section. So we just click on this and come to this guy and just position this one here. Alright, so I need the dark red. Alright, so I'll just be leaving it there. So for this other one, I'll come to this one and I'll just position it. I'll just make sure it's that area. Okay, so now that I have this one here, okay, so we will be, that's how I got my background. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll bring in this element. Okay, now so I have this element here, so I'll just position it here and just increase the size. So the next thing I'll be doing, I'll change the color. Okay, let's leave it at red. No, by default when you change a particular color in Pixellab, it gives you red. So just leave it at this red. Now it's making sense, right? So send it to the back. So the next thing, I will be bringing this element. You get it in the description of this video. Now, so it's not something difficult anyway. So it's just a gradient. Look at this, is the color. Come to shape, just take this side, come to color and reduce this one and just come here, change it to black. So that's it. I don't want to click OK. This is just practically what I have. Okay, let me just show you. Yeah, this is it. So all I just do is just to move it like this. Alright, so the reason why this one is curved like this is just because of, so it's the same thing. So you can see it's okay now. This is just the same thing anyway. Okay, so I'll delete this. So I'll just be making use of this one. So I'll position this one here. Okay, now we have this, so I'll just lock it. So I'll copy, then I'll flip it this other way around, then I'll position it here. Okay, so I'll copy, then I'll come to crop, now flip, no, okay, yeah, that's where I am. So position it here. So it's going to appear to be like a, so I'm just going to show you another way you can get it. So I'll copy this thing, come to crop and flip it like this, so you get something like this. So instead of just going through the stress of this one, all these things we did, yeah, so why not just come to gradient, come to plus, come to this particular one, this one you make it black, while this one you make it transparent. So we can just come here and give it a touch. Okay, you can see it's okay. Let me just reduce the size right here. Okay, so then I'll come to relative size and just stretch it, make sure it's 100. Okay, so we have this. You can see it's almost the same thing. It's almost the same thing. Okay, let me just hide that one and just make use of the ones I brought. So the next thing is I will bring in this call. So the resources will be in the description of this video. Now the only disadvantage that we'll be having is that, so I'll just come to this call, right? I'll give it a bit of contrast, then I'll just reduce the brightness a bit, so you can see it's now popping out. Okay, so for this, particular one at the bottom, I will just probably just increase this one a bit. Okay, so we have this guy. Need to be sure it's at the center. So then I'll lock the skull. So okay, maybe let me just duplicate this, copy it, just reduce the size, and okay, so just to make it blend. No, it's blending with the background, but this time I would have loved to use, like, let me make this red, but let me just make it like a dark part of red. Or what do you think? It's not actually blending with it's the rest, except I was actually going to use this, so it's not blending with the rest anyway, so I'll still make use of the black parts. Okay, so I've locked it now. So the next thing is, let me just bring it up a bit. I want it to cover. Okay, so the next thing is this guy here. I will position it, then I'll bring it to the front. Now go not copy. Okay, just pick one and just use crop, like just use this particular area. Then we have this one here, so you just come here and delete this. So this one, so you stretch this one to 100. Okay, let me just increase the size a bit. So now that I've increased the size, I'll just send it to the back. Now that I've sent it to the back, let's see okay, you can see the effect is kind of, I really thought we changed this color, the color of this. Yeah, it's changed to red. You can see it now. Probably it's because of this, so this background. So I'll just come in and I'll reduce the opacity. Okay, let's just come here and try something. Let's change this color to white. No, it's not working. The red is cool. Now we have this. So the next thing I'll be putting is my address. Okay, now I've sent I'll put the address here. I already have it already. Now can say how. Okay, so I will just position this one here. Now you don't want to put your address at the extreme bottom, so you want to lock it there. Okay, so we will be using the next one. We'll be using is, we'll just be taking, okay, I think I have to just take this address, but wait, I don't like the way it's there now, that bottom. Okay, now so I'll keep it like this. So the next thing I'll be doing is then music policy. I'll move it to the front. Now this is not something difficult anyway, you should be able to do it now. I don't want to type again, that's why I just put everything like this. Now for this font, I don't know if some people don't know this font. This is Stretch Pro. Yeah, this is Stretch Pro. For example, just let me just AKEMO. Okay, let me go here and come to Stretch Pro. Stretch Pro. You can see the E has stretched, so it's not something difficult. Now we'll come here come to music. So for the font of the music policy, I used Shilin. Sorry, so then just type in the name is the font name is Shilin. Okay. That is not something difficult. Music policy. Music policy. Then I added this. Then just type in the names and the likes. We notice the music was yellow, so you can just achieve a form of contrast there. So just position it this way. Then I'll reduce the opacity. Then give it a stroke of, let's say, 5. Then I'll change the color of the stroke to red. Okay, now I have this. I'll make sure it's at the center here. Okay, I'll copy this. Then relative position. I know you are not seeing it, yes, but there's no problem. Just leave it. Come to edit. Just put the size like this. Now change the color to white. No, sorry. Get rid of the stroke. Increase the opacity. And now I've changed the color to red. Okay, so okay. Alright, so you can see it's not difficult anyway. Then let's just log this. I don't want the text to be just jumping up and down. Alright, so I'll just bring in a different text. Now this is why I love using current text, because of all this. Now Thursday. Now so I will come to padding 4. Then I'll come to font. Then I'll use Montserrat bold. Now okay, the font used for this address, I actually don't know it anyway. No, so I will just come here. I'll just, for this particular guy here, I will just put this position here. Then I will come to increase size. I'll just position it here. Then I will use spacing to spread it. Okay, now I have used my relative size to just stretch this. So the next thing I'll copy is this. Then I'll use O1. Now, okay, so I will come here and spacing. I'll just get rid of the spacing. Okay. So the next thing is the font. Change this font to Kenya Coffee. Now it's a long font anyway. In case you don't have it, use any long font you have it, so it can still suffice. Alright, so I will just position this one here. Then I'll copy. I think I can just lock this. Then just copy that for Thursday. Then just write the month June. Okay, it can. Okay, now we have this guy here. We'll copy the date. So actually that address I downloaded it from somewhere. I didn't do it myself. Anyway, it's just gonna save me the stress of just typing address every time. 11 p.m. So okay, let me just stretch it out. 11. Okay, so we'll just come here and merge the 4 of them together. We're literally merging them together. Okay, now we have this guy here. Come to position this guy here and okay. All right, so the next thing is we'll bring in this guy. Okay, so you can see all right, so we have this one here. So the next thing, I'll just come to text and bring in a different text. So I'll just type now. So this design is actually something Euphoria. Okay, so now the design is actually appears to be unprofessional. Now why do I say it's unprofessional? Because of this host by the date, the address used, and the Lido, the name of the host. Now because of the font and the font I'm using, you can see the font is actually now giving that the design is having like about 5 different fonts. So it's very bad for your designs. So but I won't strongly recommend you use it. So if you just because I don't want to type again, that's why I don't want to save. I want to save myself the stress of typing. So that's why I'm not typing. Not how should I just type it. So if you're using it working for a project, don't use more than 3 fonts. If you watch most of my designs, I seldom use 4 fonts, 3, 4, even 3. I seldom use 3. Mostly it's 2 fonts. Mostly it's just 1. Most of my designs are 1 font. I don't use more than. So the next thing, I'll just come here color. Also I'll be coming to gradient. I'll click on plus, come to this guy here, come here and give it white, FFFF. That's the normal color of white. So I'll make this black, then I'll click on plus. It's going to appear in the center. Then I'll give it this guy here. So I'll click on plus, I'll come to this guy, then I'll position this one here. Okay, so I will position this one here. Okay, you can see the effects. I'm just going to bring this one here. So the next thing is shadow. Come here, I'll reduce the blur radius to about 2 or 3. Then I don't know if you can see. So okay, let's keep it like this. So but this time I'll just come here and make the shadow kind of lighter. Okay, okay, so we'll keep this one here now. Alright, so it's quite okay now. So you can just come here and add a bit of perspective to this thing. Okay, and let's see. Let's just stretch. Okay, so we have so just need to, now this is not necessary anyway, just to add a bit of style to so I'm thinking of maybe just merge these two. Now the reason I'm merging them so I can just adjust the size. It's appearing to be okay. So the most important one is the skull party. Now so this is a party. This is, so I'll come to color, I'll click on plus, I'll reduce it so you can see it is invisible. Then I'll come to padding, okay, let's just give it 14. Now just because I know what I'm doing, That's why I'm just giving it padding. If you watch some of the my previous tutorial is, so I'll come to stroke. Now I want this stroke to be visible. That's why, because there's no way I'll come to stroke. All I just need is stroke. So I'll give it the color of white. So because the reason I'm actually giving the stroke is because there's no way, for example, see the color is white. The color is white. When I make it white, there's no way I can actually get rid of this color and just make sure I'm having stroke. So the way I did it the other time, that's the only way I can get that stroke part out. So now this is a party flyer, so I actually the headline, so we need a kind of font that goes with the vibe. So now this is called party. So I am thinking of adding to this particular font. Okay, the font should, as not the font now, the for the party. So the next thing is the shadow. So I'll come here and I'll give the shadow this red. So for the shadow, you can still enable the glow. Then I will reduce the opacity a bit. Okay, so let's leave it like this. Alright, so we have this guy here. So I'll come to curve, then alright, let's just leave it like this. 25, I guess 25 it's okay. So okay, so we have this here. Now see the score party, it's cool. So let's just make sure relative position it here, and we'll copy this guy, position it here. Okay, so I will just come here and I'll merge the two of them together. Now, so you can just ask me, instead of merging, why not just so you can see it is now like this. So because of the red, it's kind of like a shadow effect. So let's just come and add shadow to it again. Let's just try this, and let's add this red and click increase the blur radius. Now I should have done this instead before we merge this. So let's just go back to when we've not merged them. Go back to undo. So we just take it one, then come to this, come to shadow, then I'll increase the blur radius to 50. So this other one too. So yeah, I want the shadow to spread. Now, so for this other one to come to, and we increase the shadow. Okay, let me just leave this at. So then I can now merge these two. Okay. Okay. Now, so we can just leave it like this. So you can see this is Euphoria Friday. It's called Pate. So now we will actually want to put this above this. Now it's already reflecting on the head of the skull. So we'll come to draw. We'll click on this red, increase the pen size, increase, and just tap on this. Now, so we'll just adjust this. So we'll just adjust this here. Then we'll send it way behind to reflect on the skull. So you're just gonna act like, you can see, no, not behind the skull, in front of the skull, please. Okay, so just reduce the size Now I think this is too much, so just try and adjust yours. I think the shadow is too much, so just try and adjust yours. For example, let me just bring in the original, the design backing. I think the shadow is too much. Yeah, my shadow happens to be too much, so let me just undo. So if I'm just gonna undo it, it's just going to be the shadow part. Okay, so we have this particular guy here, and we'll just come and we will, so I will just reduce the blur. Okay, this other guy here, also come here and reduce the blur. Okay, so I'll just make it 25 and I can now merge them. Okay, so then we'll just stretch. So okay, so we can just bring in that just tap opacity. Okay, so we will just keep this one here. Okay, so it's behind it. Alright, so we have this, so we're done, we are done. So you can now come here, save, and just take it to Snapseed. Now there are other apps I use in touching my image, so you can see it's now saved. Maybe from some other designs we'll be using some other application aside Snapseed to just add a touching to our image. So is it me or that this call is just too big? So let's see the previous one. Let's see the face of the skull. No, this is the one we just saved. Let's see the previous one. Let's see the face of the skull. Now you can see the face of the skull is not as big as this. Okay, so for the skull, I will just come here and reduce. Term 2. Okay, so you can just adjust the skull to this size and just use it like this. Now this is what I'll be using. I'll be using for the design. I'll be using that one again. It's too big, I don't like it, please, because I have to use this one for the thumbnail too. I'll be using for YouTube. Well, almost 30 minutes, so I don't want this video to exceed 30 minutes, so we just come to and pick the one we just did. So come to details, I'll increase the structure. You can see it's just popped out. I will sharpen it a bit. Not leaving my sharpening to about 25, 26 now. But I'll come to tune image. Let me add the saturation needed. Okay, the saturation needed. Let's see the ambience. No, ambience and saturation is just almost like the same thing. It's almost like the same thing, but just ambience add everything, but just it leaves the the skin tones. So this is before, this is after. Now let's just see that's all for this. That's all. So I'll just gladly export, or should I try this one out? So near contrast, let's see before and after. I'll stick with this one, so I'll just export more or less. So that's all for this particular tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. We'll see you in the next video.